All right, I'll ask you to mute and we'll get started.
Okay.
Great. Let's begin by centering ourselves and creating an energetic container for our experience this evening. I invite you to join me in setting an intention around this space and time to comfortably enjoy the performance, each other, and ourselves. Let's draw in a slow, loving breath as you allow everything around and within you to settle a little bit more comfortably. You can close your eyes for a few moments if you want. Let that breath go. Now let's take a new breath in through the nose, relaxing your shoulder, opening your chest, softening and deepening into your seat or your stand. Hold the breath in your belly, and with great gratitude and peace, let's exhale all that we won't need for the next hour. One more time, we'll draw fresh air in, connecting our hearts, bodies, minds, and each other to each other. Exhale. This time, release the idea that there's anything to release. And now we'll start. Dear friends, patrons, clients, and new people, welcome to Jazz Night at the Space Hub Lounge. The lounge was born to be a place for connection for those who were seeking it. What I found in several years of talking about deep inner processes on Instagram was that others who were focused in a similar way often felt unsupported or at a loss in their local communities, or even among their friends, like their good friends. What they used to connect with people on no longer resonated with them in the same way, and the topics that were most important or present couldn't always be entertained thoughtfully by those around them. So basically what I'm saying is that I saw that my fellow inner space explorers felt a little displaced and even sometimes lonely. Inner space exploration is a special type of experience that you sort of need to have to understand. Just to be clear on what I'm talking about when I say inner space exploration, I mean a practice of deep self-reflection and contemplation that often inspires and supports exponential transformation as your understanding of yourself and the world undergo massive shifts towards more possibilities, greater acceptance, and a truer expression of self. I know that makes it sound glorious, and those who have done it know that while it is full of grace, it can be a bit of a show. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful experience that I think is led by wisdom greater than our own. I know I personally wouldn't have self-selected it if I knew what was included, but let's be real. On the other side, and in greater comfort, I can really honor and appreciate the remarkable changes that occurred without conscious leadership. Like me, many have found in the work things they didn't expect to find, like intuition, universal secrets, and maybe an affinity for something cute like rocks or sound baths. I know my Instagram fam helped me immensely in grounding the things I saw in my inner space journey when the people I used to lean on couldn't. The Space Hub Lounge is here to provide that same kind of camaraderie, peace, inspiration, and support, as there are others who get it and would love to be a part of your new world. So to wrap this up, it's an honor to create and hold some time and space for fellow explorers to connect with and support each other in their sometimes invisible to the untrained eye adventures. It's with great pleasure I now introduce a woman I've come to love and respect for her transcendental creativity and drive, who has a badass inner space exploration and a bunch of other skills, Solange, Sarria, and her talented accompanists Nick, Tannura, and Diego, Cuzan. You're up, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us. Thank you everybody for being here. I met Shaylee last year and joined the Habit book crew, and I saw her flyer about her jazz night and asked her if there were musicians, and she said no, so she created a space for something to come into, and I took the opportunity, so that's how we're here today. I have selected a few songs from some Cuban artists. I'm half Cuban myself, and this is how I connect to my roots. There's some other familiar songs that you recognize, and my first original piece will be closing the night with. So we'll start now. Ready? La ciudad donde yo nací tiene sus penas y glorias. En la ciudad donde yo nací tiene sus penas y glorias. Yo lo llamo marginal porque parte de mi historia fue donde jugando yo aprendí a cantar. Fue donde jugando yo aprendí a cantar. La ciudad donde yo nací tiene un mar de historia. La ciudad donde yo crecí tiene sus penas y glorias. Porque fue en el cielo donde yo aprendí a volar. En la ciudad donde yo nací, tiene sus penas y glorias. El barrio donde yo crecí, tiene sus penas y glorias. No lo llamo marginal, porque parte de mi historia fue donde jugando yo aprendí a cantar. Fue donde jugando yo aprendí a cantar. La Habana, la ciudad donde yo nací, tiene un mar de historia. La ciudad donde yo crecí, tiene un mar de historia. Yo le quiero cantar con tus penas, con tus glorias, porque fue en su cielo donde aprendí a volar. Porque fue en su cielo donde yo aprendí a volar. La Habana, Santa Habana, Santa mi Habana, Santa Habana, bendita ciudad. Santa Habana, Santa mi Habana, Santa Habana. Woo! We can't hear you. All right, so that's how we kicked it off. It's the most fun, exciting song. And now we're going to take it to another Cuban song. This is a ballad. It's a love song. And it's about, I wrote notes. I have notes. I got notes. This one is about when you have a crush on somebody and they cause intense emotions just by looking at you. Yeah, basically, it's intense. All right, here we go. Tú no sospechas cuando me estás mirando las emociones que se van desatando. Te juro que a veces me asusto de ver que te has ido ordenado de mí y que ya yo no puedo frenar el deseo de estar junto a ti. Tú no sospechas estas furias inmensas que me dominan cada vez que te acercas. Y aunque no ha habido intención en ti de provocar lo que siento, te vas a enterar de una vez de que ya te quiero. sospechas cuando me estás mirando. Las emociones que se van desatando. Te juro que a veces me asusto de ver que te has sido adueñado de mí y que ya yo no puedo frenar el deseo de estar junto a ti. Tú no sospechas estas furias inmensas que me dominan cada vez que te acercas. Y aunque ha habido intención en ti de provocar lo que siento, te vas a enterar que ya ves de que ya te quiero. We have an audience member, by the way. Woo! One audience member. Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you. If you're clapping. So the next song is Smile. Ready? You all might know this one. You probably know this one. Start. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use in crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use in crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Cool. All right. So we have one more for this set. And this is a song by the Mamas and the Papas. So we're taking it back. It's called Dream a Little Dream of Me. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Sing nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries far behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading and I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries far behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Dream a little dream of me. Dream a little dream, 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 dream of me. Woo. Thank you.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much. So before we jump into the conversation, I just wanted to open the floor if anyone wanted to share their response to the performance.
People wanted to say something. Okay. Someone said jazz amazing.
Okay.
Are we supposed to talk?
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. Those 25 ceilings. Okay, great. So we'll bring Solange, Nick, and Diego back again around 8:50ish for another song and allow them to share with you how to follow, support, and work with them as you're inspired. Now we'll open up our discussion on joy and individuality, two things that are, in my estimation, one and the same. I want to give the next 20 minutes mostly to you to share your perspectives and experience and to reflect and respond to each other's. And I may jump in to moderate, but really want to give you the space and let you talk about what's there for you. And so before we begin, let me frame the discussion a little more clearly, and then it'll be your show, and you can participate as much or as little as you want. What I found in hosting spaces like this is it really is a beautiful experience to see that there are others all over that have a very similar but very different experience. And so I encourage you to, do you. In the ticket email you received, there were a few questions, and I'm going to drop them in the chat box right now so you can reference them as you wish. What lights you up? What is being lit? How does it relate to you being you? Why does any of it matter? And where does it fit in bigger pictures? So what I mean by joy and being lit is the experience of direct experience, which means you're participating with and in life in a way that you kind of lose ideas of yourself and perhaps time or even limits and become, without effort really, one with everything. It's sort of like the lines between you and others, now and later, because and why blur into non-existence as your awareness is completely subsumed by what you're doing or experiencing in the moment. Joy to me is an inspiration, is inspiration, the universe, or love in action, and exists where there is no longer separation between self and other. So like the land beyond the mind, where you forget about anything except what's right here and right now. Some people call this flow. So I'd like us to take that concept and compare it with the idea of individuality tonight. What is individuality? How is our joy unique to us? Where or how do those things fit into our everyday lives or our role as global citizens? So this topic is a big old thing to bite into. And so I encourage everyone to nibble the edge that's closest to them and not to worry about whether or not what they want to say is profound or right or considers every element of this super, super long prompt. We're building this conversation together, and each contribution is perfect and right on time. So please leave any concerns you might have about relevance or importance with your shoes and just say what's there for you. After you speak, please scan the Zoom room and look for who wants to contribute next, which you can kind of indicate with a little wave. And I'll have you pass the mic on your own inspired selection. You can say something like hot potato Nate, and then Nate gets to go. As the next person, you can pick up the thread immediately where it was left off or start a new one, or you can respond to a prior one. Again, we'll let the wisdom of the unfolding be right and perfect. I trust each participant to be thoughtful in their sharing of the mic time. And so with that, I'll open the floor for the first brave soul to contribute a thought or two on joy and or individuality from a personal or universal perspective. Would someone like to go first? Yeah, man. So really, oh great, okay. Andrea, if you unmute yourself, you're on.
Okay, cool. So I actually go by Dia, but my full name's Andrea. And Shaylee, what you were just saying about how joy is like the complete immersion into the moment is kind of like what I was thinking of earlier today. So I really like being upside down, like standing on my head, my hands, like forearm stance, whatever it is, like I'll do it. And it got me thinking like why that lights me up and why that brings me joy. And I think like a big reason is because it's really hard to concentrate on anything else when you're focusing on balancing upside down. And so I think that like bringing something that brings you to the present moment is really important to me. Bring me joy is what I discovered. I just wanted to pop in and say that. And yeah, does anybody else want to share?
So what I think I heard you say was that it's also like, there's an element of it that's maximal that requires your full participation in the moment. So maybe there's a desire, but also sort of like an external component as well that's inviting your full attention in a way that allows for you to experience only that. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, being upside down is tough. Thank you for sharing. If you want to demonstrate anything too, you can.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'll whip out a handstand. Oh
I'm,
yeah, I haven't tried any handstands today, so let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna fit in the screen.
okay, well, she's preparing if the next person wants to gather their thoughts.
Am I in the screen? Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much. Oh, wow. Wow. That's beautiful.
Yay.
Wow. Well done. I was thinking I'd go
Thank
up
you.
just by like this way.
Oh, yes.
Would someone like to contribute some thoughts next? Anything that's really shown up for you recently about what gives you joy, or maybe what's unique to you is welcome. Joe?
Can
Oh
I
no.
share?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
You're not mute, but I can't hear you.
who?
Joe? Oh, Solange's mom, would you like to go?
Yeah, my name's Aline.
Very nice to meet you. I wasn't sure how to say it.
Solange's mom, which I'm very proud of being Solange's mom, by the way. I think lately what brings me joy is currently the time that we're in right now as a world with everything going on. And I think that what brings me joy is seeing the daily good things that are happening with people that overcome things and see the positive outcome instead of the negative outcome that we hear all day long in social media and so forth. And I really believe this country is built on social activism and people that start things from the ground up. And that's what, those are the things that really are the catalyst of change, not so much the people that just follow the herd and keep moving forward because it's the right thing to do. So I find joy in those type of things, and it's hard to find, harder and harder to find these, but if you can pick up on them, they're there every day. I'm an educator by profession, and although I'm not a teacher anymore, I find that anybody that's 18 years old and younger, they find a lot more joy in everyday life just because of the lack of seeing, I don't know, negative things, I guess, in their life, or just seeing the world with their eyes wide open and not having all the baggage yet. So that brings me joy every day, is the youth, and that what they have in their minds of how they're going to change the world is still so wonderful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think it sounds like joy for you is a function of hope, perhaps, and sharing an inspiration or a greater vision. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be seen in the younger generation, and really just the beauty of groups of people organizing together to bring greater possibilities into being, and it being like inspired from within and just led from like a level of care and concern for people beyond themselves. I know we have a lot of artists in the group. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share around their creative process, or what is inspiring, or what maybe supports or puts them in a place of joy or creation? Okay. Great. Okay. So as far as discussion topics, this was the one that I had planned for, but I'm also open to hearing anything else that might be present for you in your worlds, or what you might be experiencing in like the changing landscape. I know we've got like both coasts represented and a lot of things in between. Would anyone like to share an update about what life is like in your city? New York, LA, Seattle. Nate, you're up. But you'll have to unmute, please.
Got it. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I got a lot of nods. That's good.
So glad you can join us from your cloud.
I thought it was appropriate, you know? Okay, so I have zero talent artistically, but I was thinking about joy, and I realized things that make me very happy are moments of, I'm trying to figure out how to say this eloquently, but it's moments of unexpected connections with other people. Like when I'm out and about and you see someone that you don't know, you have nothing in common with, but something funny happens and you make eye contact. And then if you even have a conversation, and you can just have a momentary connection. A lot of times this happens with humor, and those are really the only moments that I can think where I'm totally just in it, you know, where I'm just in the state of flow or whatever we were calling it. Because you're happy, it's unexpected, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. So my brain just sort of just goes into autopilot, and it's really interesting and exciting. I don't know how that segues into your grand scheme on joy, if you want to cut me off.
No, I think there's a component to that is part of the creative process where it's spontaneous, and I'm not quite sure what it is about humor, but that does seem supportive of that state. And maybe it's the playfulness or like the not so seriousness. Yeah, and it also sounds like there's a component where you're connecting to others.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jason, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Well, hey, just thanks for allowing me to be part of this conversation, Shay and everybody. As far as what brings me joy, there's so many things that come to mind, but I think right now I'm living in kind of in nature in the middle of nowhere after living in downtown Phoenix for a year. And so you can probably see like all the trees that I'm surrounded by right now. I just feel like they're my family right now. Living in a cabin on a river in the mountains of Washington State, and just you know, working a 9 to 5 during the day, but just taking as much time as I can to get out in nature and soak up the nature medicine and the trees, all the beautiful water, rivers and lakes around here, and fishing and hiking, and just that connection to nature where I've always felt the most peace. And I get a lot of joy out of all the different moments I get. Like I went to my favorite river last weekend and caught a huge trout, and just had a moment with the river, which is the place where I feel the most peace and the most at home is on a river. And so, yeah, just in this craziness that we're all in right now, this chapter of life that we're all experiencing, just finding joy in solitude and with nature for me right now. That's the thing that comes to mind most.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Your background is beautiful.
It's real.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I was also going to ask, you have a beautiful eye for photography. How would that relate, or how does that relate to the conversation?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I seem to have resistance around creating art and practicing different arts that I have loved over the years, and I'm not sure what that's all about. I'm fairly certain it's something in my subconscious that I haven't gotten clear about and been able to have a breakthrough around. But yeah, photography for me, especially in nature, in being able to see what I create and how it creates joy for others that aren't able to be in nature. I think that's where I get the most pleasure out of it, being able to share like uh, beautiful surroundings that I'm able to be in, and share that like on Instagram with others, and have them comment back and saying, "Oh my gosh, that's so amazing and inspiring." It makes me want to get out and get away for the weekend. Thank you so much, and things like that. Like just being able to inspire others through uh, artistic practice certainly is for me brings joy. And anytime I can make others feel good, that always brings me joy. So yeah.
That's that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, it sounds like again there's this connection component that is present. Mark, I don't know if you would be comfortable talking about your experience in nature, which is pretty interactive, but I find that to be pretty joyful and inspiring.
Sure. I'm Mark. Jason, I'm kind of like in the same line as you. I'm always outdoors, love fishing. I think some of the joys that I have in nature is going wild foraging and going out there and being able to find a specific wild mushroom or a plant that I'm looking for, and having it kind of feel like finding gold, and finding joy in that. And it's kind of the same feeling as like landing that big fish. So it's like that, you know what I'm talking about. If you like, you hook into that fish, so you get that excitement of joy of just having that fish on the line. Even if you lose it, it doesn't matter. It's still, you get to have that experience. I think the biggest experience for me this year is getting back into some roots that I've never got into, farming. So started a farm with a buddy of mine, and this week it was like harvesting our first harvest, getting pumpkins picked, a bunch of cucumbers. There's so much more produce we have to pick. So it's really nice to kind of have that new experience in my life, being able to grow something and seeing it grow through the months and actually getting the final product out of it.
That's so cool. And I think so far we've been talking about it from a personal life standpoint, but I'm sure that there's also some joy that can be found in our work. Mike, I might pull you on the line if you'd like to express a little bit about the joy you found in leading teams and in your any of your business endeavors.
Very well. Thanks, Shaylee, for bringing us all together. This is super sweet. And for me, can you hear me? Not really.
Can you get any louder, Mike?
Is that better? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah, thanks for this is super sweet to get together with everyone in this setting, which is the kind of a first for me. But in terms of joy at work, I was originally in engineering and leadership, and took a 5-year break from that just because I felt like I really put in a lot of time and effort. And then so recently in the last year or so, I've really focused on getting back into it. And I find so much joy in kind of mastering that craft. And I see it now as like an art. So I practice my art, I build things, it's a big scale. Like I just really identify with it in a way that I hadn't really felt before. And I guess even in the last couple of years, just realizing that my art can be, I can take ownership of that it can be mine and it can be unique, and really understanding that really helped me to see myself as creative. And so that was a big breakthrough for me recently. And yeah, it just helps me to live an integrated life where my work isn't really separate from my life. It's all part of it. So it's been super cool lately to really feel that.
That's awesome. Is that something anyone like to build on? Joe, Nate, go ahead.
I was gonna just add that it's really interesting because there's two things there. One is the current situation has made me realize how much I do enjoy what I do, because now that we can't really do it and I can't meet people in person, I'm realizing that, and the rare opportunities that I have to do that, I really enjoy it and am good at it. And I also think it's interesting because he was talking about like almost allowing himself to just reframe what he's doing as like being creative. And I really struggle with that. Again, being like, I'm not artistic at all. I'm not whatever, but it's like, at the same time, you have to let yourself realize that just because what I do is corporate bullshit doesn't mean that it can't be fun, and that some of the things I do, I am really creative. You know, some of the solutions that I come up with, I can let myself have that. It doesn't have to be this whole, I'm not contributing anything to the world whatsoever narrative that runs in my head all the time. So I completely feel that, and I just think it's interesting. And once you start looking at it like that, you can almost let yourself enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, I love that. The kind of like expanding and reshaping of definitions, like what is art, what is creative, what is work, you know, that's beautiful. There are some people here that I won't be able to like spotlight in the same way, but I would love to give you the opportunity to spotlight yourself before we pass the mic back over to our lovely jazz ensemble. Is there anything else anyone would like to add or ask of the group? Does anyone else want to sing before they go? Brian? Okay, great. So I sent Solange a message and let her know that we're almost ready for her. I really appreciate everyone coming out tonight and being willing to try this with me. This is my first jazz night with a live performer, and just even the format for discussion is new to me, and I really appreciate everyone being here and giving their time and their attention and being open to listening to the others. I'll be sending out a survey sometime tomorrow with an email that includes information to all of Solange, Diego, and Nick's work, as well as an opportunity to give feedback about what you liked here or what you might like better at a different time. But again, like, thank you so much. It is an honor to host you, and it's so nice to see your faces. And without further ado, I invite Solange, Nick, and Diego to take us home.
Sweet. So thank you, Shaylee. I was listening a little bit to your conversation and about creativity and how you contribute your creative process in the world, whether it be through art or music or in your corporate job. And I just wanted to say, like, I wasn't born like an outstanding singer. I joined a choir at a young age, but what got me to where I'm at now is my discipline and dedication and passion for music. And thanks to my mother, who put me into schools where music was a focus, magnet performing arts schools, I was in a rigorous program to get me to where I'm at now. And I continue to study music to this day, like on my own. So I think anybody is capable of expressing themselves in whatever way they choose, so long as they love what it is that they're doing. And as long as you take comparison out of the equation and you keep moving forward in your process, like, beautiful things can happen. So with that said, this song I wrote, this is my first original complete song that I wrote last week. And it's inspired by something Shaylee was talking about in one of her IG lives. And yeah, and Nick just improvised some stuff to it. So this is it. Hope you like it. Yeah. When I've had too much, I release it. When the times are tough, I will seek it. Then I'll find peace of mind. in the things that I love. Pushing won't serve me to achieve it. When it comes to mental hidden secrets, look inside and see behind the edge of your mind. Ooh, long as freedom grows, I will seek it. If it's yes or no, I'll believe it. I'll relax in the past, trusting all within me. I'll sing a little prayer, peace be with me. This message I will share, please receive me. On the other side I'll come, transcending to life. Ooh, ooh, That's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Look out for that email from Shaylee tomorrow, and you'll be able to follow us on Instagram. I'll be posting more music. Nick posts music all the time. Diego's starting his music sharing journey. So we'd love to see you again. Thank you.